Today, I invite you to think about the clouds. Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to Fearless Fridays. Today is Friday, May 13th. This is episode 118 of Fearless Fridays. As always, I welcome you to the show, whether it's your first time watching or you're a return watcher. Welcome back. So today, I invite you to think about the clouds. Consider the clouds. What do you mean? I'm going to tell you. I like to think about thoughts as if they are clouds. I like to compare thoughts to clouds. Thoughts are like clouds in that they come into our minds, not necessarily upon our invitation. Sometimes they just come and they move through, they pass through. And just like clouds, sometimes they're bright and fluffy and happy. Sometimes they're dark and gloomy, but they're passing through. Thoughts are passing through, just like clouds. And when you think of thoughts passing through your mind, just like clouds pass through the sky, you recognize, hey, thoughts are passing through, which means that I don't have to hold on to them. It means that they don't define me. It means that I can observe them and let them go the same way they came. It means all of these things. Thoughts do not define you the same way that clouds do not define the sky. If a storm cloud comes through the sky is not ruined. Atmosphere is not ruined just because a storm cloud comes through. And you know what we say about storm clouds? We say, oh, it'll pass. Or we hope it'll pass quickly so it doesn't ruin our plans. But we never feel like our life, we shouldn't feel like our lives are ruined just because a cloud passes through the sky. And the same way, we don't need to feel like our lives are ruined just because a negative thought or a sad thought or a heavy thought passes through our minds. So this is the way I like to compare thoughts to clouds. Thoughts do not define us the same way clouds do not define the sky. They're just passing through. And as soon as we recognize that our thoughts are just passing through, then we recognize, hey, wait, I can control this. Now, a thought may come that you're not necessarily controlling. You may not necessarily invite that thought in. But when you recognize that the thought is not beneficial to you, that it's not uplifting to you, that it's not lovely, that it's not beautiful, that it's not helping you in any way, when you recognize that you're thinking those kinds of thoughts, you then can recognize that, hey, I don't have to hold on to this thought and let this thought ruin my life, ruin my day, ruin my existence. I can allow this thought to pass. I can release this thought. And I can choose then to think something different. I can choose to think something else. We have that power over our thoughts. Now, sometimes thoughts come into our minds uninvited, and we need to evaluate, hold up, where is this thought coming from? Why am I even thinking about this? Because that has something to do with what you are actively allowing into your space, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're reading, what people you're hanging around, how they're talking, what their thoughts are, what their words are. A lot of those things get into us without us recognizing it and cause thoughts to come. And we recognize that, hey, this thought is not even something that I would normally think. Where did this come from? And then we need to trace that back and figure out where we might need to set up some boundaries. Remember, I talked about boundaries a couple weeks ago. So sometimes when thoughts come in and we recognize that it's not the kind of thought we want to think, then we need to kind of trace it back to its place of origin and figure out where we need to set up some boundaries. But then sometimes thoughts come in and they just come. And it's just a wild, crazy, stupid, ridiculous, dark, sad, horrible thought. And then we need to release it. We need to release it. We need to actively choose to release it and actively choose what we want to think about. And we have the power to do that. There's a scripture that says, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is lovely, think on these things. That means you have the power to control the thoughts that you are thinking. You have the power to control the thoughts that you hold on to. You have the power to control those thoughts. You have the power to release a negative thought. You have the power to throw it away, and you have the power to think about what you want to think about and choose what you want to think about. And a lot of times we don't think about what we're thinking about. We just let thoughts come in and run rampant and ruin our day, ruin our week, ruin our month, ruin our year, ruin our life. Think about what you're thinking about. Be intentional about paying attention to your thoughts. And when your thoughts do not line up with what you believe or what you want for your life, recognize that that thought is just passing through. You have the power to push it out a little bit faster. You have the power to throw it out the window, and you have a power to think on these things. Think on the things that are lovely, that are beautiful, the things that you want to think about, the things that are uplifting you and bringing joy and happiness and loveliness to your life, positivity to your life. Think on those things. So yeah, thoughts are like clouds. Clouds don't define the sky. Your thoughts don't define you. Clouds are passing through the sky. Your thoughts are passing through. Just because you think something doesn't mean you have to hold on to that thought. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. And just because a thought comes into your mind doesn't mean that you are that thought. Don't let your thoughts control you. You can choose your thoughts. So that's what I want to share with y'all this week. Think about it. Think about it. I'm corny sometimes. As always, the euphoria of fearlessness trumps the comfort of staying safe. Happy Friday, the 13th. Choose what you're going to think about. And I'll talk to y'all next week.